Hello, good morning or good afternoon. This is Kerrie O'Connor, this is the Kerrie O'Connor Show, and I'm Kerrie O'Connor, and this is the talk show where I share with you the wisdom and the insight that I receive through my intuitive vision. My show focuses on self-empowerment and helping reclaim your divine heritage, and I'm here for you during these times of accelerated change on the planet to offer guidance and inspiration so we all can get through this evolutionary jump that's literally encoded in our DNA a little bit easier. I welcome you to join me because this is a call-in show, but I'm really happy. Today I have a special guest, Stuart Wilde. Stuart Wilde is an author of over 20 books on spirituality and personal development. Stuart Wilde is considered by many the greatest living metaphysician on the world today. Many of the most famous New Age people, New Age thoughts, writers, and teachers have privately studied with him, or they are greatly influenced by his work. In the 1980s, Wilde correctly described the etheric life field energy field around the people in precise detail. Previously, it was only known in vague terms in discussions about the human aura. Stuart wrote out the first of many precise and verifiable etheric exercises and sensations in his book, The Quickening, in Hay House, 1995. In the past 10 years, he's published hundreds of visions, and many which come to pass now. You could locate his information on StuartWilde.com. And Stuart, welcome to the Kerrie O'Connor Show. I'm so pleased to have you here.
How are you? Thank you so much, love. It's just a delight to be on again with you.
I am so happy that you're here. And Stuart, I'm so excited because this is your first appearance in the United States in 3 years. You're coming to Las Vegas.
Yes, because 3 years ago, I saw some visions, Kerrie, that told me don't go on the road for 3 years.
Okay.
And then I had this really, really weird experience. And one night I saw this light strobing around my room, and it was like what I call the solar logos, the divine light, like the divinity that you talk about in your introduction,
Right.
And I saw visions of the saints, and I saw visions of Jesus. Anyway, after that lasted for 5 hours. And the light was going round and round the room for 5 hours, and there were 5 people, four other people and myself watching it. And then after that, I got the stigmata in my hands and my feet. It's the sensation of nails and skewers going through your hands and your feet. And I got that on that night, and it lasted 2.5 days. The pain went on day and night for 2.5 years. So I can see why my vision said, don't go on the road for 3 years. But now it's easing off, so I'm back on the road again.
That's wonderful. So people have a chance. And I know, Stuart, you've been doing these healings over in Ireland and over in Bath, and I went to several of these healings, and I've seen amazing things happening, people from leukemia to brain tumors to even my own experience of having bacteria in my finger. And I knew that as a nurse I was going to have to go to the hospital and get IV drugs. And after I had the healing with you, it went away instantly. That within that night, the healing went down. It was double in size. It went down to regular size, and the pain was going up my arm, and it disappeared. So do you want to explain to people what happened with you during this experience after stigmata? And then you do the... Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what I had was this. I had this pain, and I saw a lot of visions of the light, and I saw Jesus. I saw visions of Jesus, and I saw visions of avian flu. Yeah. And then this light started coming into my hands, and it was really bright. I could see it at night in a dark room. Right. And I could see it with my eyes shut and my eyes open. So with my eyes shut, it was like inner sight, and with my eyes open, it was regular sight.
Right.
And then I saw visions that told me to go put my hands on people and offer them this purple light. Wow. Well, I was shy, Right. I'm quite gregarious, and I do stand-up comedy for my friends and that sort of stuff, but I'm actually a very shy person.
Right.
So it was very difficult for me to go and do healings in the street. So I had to force myself. So I went to a sacred well in Ireland, and I started doing healings there. And then some healings I do at my gigs,
Right.
And, I don't charge for the healings, and I don't ask for donations. But when I have to do a gig, then the promoters have to charge for a gig. For example, like I'm appearing in Las Vegas at the end of the month for over a weekend.
Yeah.
And, the promoters were telling me that the expenses, the hotel bill was like $10,000 a day for the ballroom and for the rooms.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, they charge you catering that you don't ask for, so you have to buy $10,000 worth of catering that you don't need,
Right.
Yeah. So the promoters have to charge, but I personally don't charge. So I do all my healings in the street for free. And, I've done them in England, and I've done them in Ireland, and there's one coming up next weekend in Dublin, and I'm going to go to France. And you know where I'm going as well? I'm going to do them in the Vatican, right in front of the church, where that big obelisk is. Yep. I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to do healings on the stool, and I hope my Italian readers, because there are quite a few, because my books have been translated into Italian, I hope they come along, and then, of course, the Vatican police will probably throw me out, but I'm just going to do it there anyway, just for fun,
Perfect. I absolutely think that's perfect. So we're so excited. So you were coming to the U.S., and that is from August 23rd to September 2nd. So it's called the Second
I'll be
Chance.
at Las Vegas on August the 31st.
31st
To the 1st, and then the 2nd to the 3rd. So I'm doing kind of 2 one-day gigs, but they go on throughout the whole of the night.
Right, that's right, and everyone is guaranteed a healing. And when it's called the Second Chance, Stuart, what does the Second Chance mean to you?
Well, I just feel that humans are entitled to absolution. Whatever crimes or mistakes they've made in their life, it's kind of irrelevant as long as they have an active contrition in their heart and they feel sorry for the pain they've caused.
Right.
And that, like, people are entitled to sort of like a new spiritual awareness, a new energy, and they're entitled, as a byproduct of that, to be healed, So, like, my biggest success is leukemia. I worked on a leukemia patient, and then he went to the hospital, and they did all these tests on him, and they found his leukemia non-detectable. They came back, not detectable. They couldn't find it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
that's wonderful.
And I've worked on brain tumors, and I've worked on asthma, and I've worked on various aches and pains and diseases, and I've worked on an autistic kid.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, he was kind of pretty comatose and kind of a bit strange,
Yeah.
But now he's gregarious and he's doing well at school and he's got friends. Like he's healed, Whether it's going to still take another 6 months or a year before he's entirely normal, but when you see him now, you couldn't tell he was autistic.
Oh, wow. What a big difference. And so it heals even, obviously, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because I've watched the people when I've been there, I've seen their energy fields with a lot of people with a lot of depression, and all of a sudden their energy fields look very lit up. It's like it burns away their depression. So it works on so many levels. And Stuart, it is amazing to watch.
There's a secret to that I can tell you about,
Yeah.
A lot of depression comes from these inner worlds. There's a parallel dimension. Which is very close to us. In fact, it's only 18 inches away. And we call it the Aluna, which is a sort of shamanistic word from South America, which means of the moon, reflected like the moon, And in those inner worlds, there are a lot of dark forces. And the dark forces come from the sort of devilish worlds, and some of the darkness comes from humans. And those dark forces are pushing depression. They're pushing pain into people. And we see that pain go into a person like often like a black skewer that might be going through their knee. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with their knee, but it hurts because the black skewer is going through it. And I know from the stigmata, because the stigmata essentially is pain that's being fired from these inner worlds, because it's attacking the light. And so people think, if they have light, then nothing can ever go wrong. It's quite the reverse. The more light you got, the more you're going to be challenged by the dark forces. It's like, oh, wow, what a disappointment that was. Anyway, the point about the depression is that when I do this sort of hands, when I put my hands on somebody, I see these purple hands come up. There's a picture of them on my site, stuartwilde.com. And the people click healings or they click the Las Vegas icon. And I wait till I see the hands come up 9 times.
Okay.
And then once the hands have come up, I'm looking at visions of the hands coming up while I'm working on a person and saying and doing whatever I'm doing. And then once it's come up 9 times, I know the healing's done. And often that could happen in 10 or 15 seconds.
Right.
But I carry it on a bit and say some sacred prayers and make sure they're okay. But that's what knocks out the depression. It essentially doesn't work on the person's mind or the serotonin levels or whatever. It bungs out the ghouls.
Right.
It gets rid of the darkness, and once the darkness goes, they're alleviated. And once they start to feel better, the chemicals in their brains changes automatically, and they stay better.
Absolutely, absolutely. In the purple hands, I've seen your hands becoming purple and becoming very, very big. And I had a vision yesterday where I saw the purple hands over the earth, and I saw the connection of everyone that you're healing and that you put the light into. When they go back home, that they bring that resonance, and they're making these beautiful connections. So this is absolutely going around the earth, Stuart. So this is a beautiful
I hope so, because
experience.
What I'm hoping at Las Vegas is, like there's 2 gigs. The first one is very, very close to sold out, and the second one that goes from Sunday night to Monday lunchtime, I've still got about 90 tickets to sell. But 90 tickets isn't very much, when you're sort of like doing it on the internet. They could go in a day or 2,
Right, but, absolutely.
But the thing about it is, what I'm hoping is that when I go there and I do these healings on people, and there's going to be about maybe 700-800 people, and then there's a lot of guests and children and stuff that are coming in between.
Right.
Like between the Saturday afternoon and the Sunday evening. And so there'll probably be about 1,000 people. And I'm hoping that these people will take the energy out to their homes and to the different towns and principalities and villages and wherever they live, you know. And then maybe I'll go back to America later and do some more healings, because by then I'll have made the connections to the people that are in the churches or whatever, you know.
Right, absolutely.
But yeah, the energy goes out. It goes out to the people, and they carry this sort of, well, it looks to me like an oval, like NFL football, you know. That's like radiant purple, blue, and gold. It's radiant, and they take it with them, you know. So how long it lasts and so on, I don't know, but I think it lasts a long time once you've got it, you know.
From what I've been watching with the Earth grids, I always take a look at the personal energy field, then I look at the Earth. I've been seeing it lasting for a really long time. I haven't seen it. It's getting stronger and stronger. The light and the purple and the gold is being fed, and that's what I always talk about, the rainbow bridges. And a lot of my listeners know what I'm saying when I'm talking about the rainbow bridges. So you're feeding that connection and helping. So I see it lasting longer. And I also saw your hands getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it looks like as even when you're walking, it's going down miles and miles down the road, even before you enter a physical place. I see it going like at least 15 to 20 miles now, if not even longer.
That's incredible. I mean, I don't know. I'm gobsmacked. But yeah. I mean, I get visions that tell me to go and touch the ground in certain places.
Right.
And I'll see the vision at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll drive maybe 20, 30 miles and touch the ground in the center of a little town, or, I don't know, the back of City Hall or someplace. But that resonance goes out across the ground like a pulse, you know?
Yes.
But there's more and more light coming. We've seen in the visions what I call the solar logos, which is like this celestial light, and it landed last year in 2011. And it's a bit like Jesus and the gods and the Hindus and Shiva and Krishna and Buddha and all of them, all wrapped into one. I like coming back and just dispelling the darkness for people and helping people feel better, because a lot of people are innocent, you know.
Right.
They're completely innocent of the torment that they go through.
Absolutely.
And that's what the second chance is all about. The second chance is, hey, people are entitled to be free and to live in a sort of ghoul-free world where they don't have to be tormented all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people are feeling that, and I'm so excited about that you're coming to the States. And again, for everybody, this is the end of August, from August 31st to the September 1st, and then there's another one from September 1st to September 2nd. So you could look up all that information.
September 3rd, Kerrie.
Oh, sorry. Oh, geez, I'm looking at it right now. September. So I'm sorry. September 3rd. I've got, all right, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And the 31st of this Saturday.
Yeah, but if they click my site, StuartWilde.com, man, they click the Stuart Wilde live in, live in Las Vegas. People can get it there. They can consider coming if they want to come, you know. I mean, I'm not hustling to sell tickets or anything like that. They can come if they want, or not if they don't. But, you know, somebody that has a serious disease, or they have, you know, I got one guy out of a psychiatric hospital. He was in a closed psychiatric unit in Germany. And he called me from the psychiatric unit asking me for his help, and I told him what to tell the doctors, you know?
Okay.
I said, go see the doctors and tell them this, and I said, do not say one extra word, because the more you talk, the more they're going to lock you up, you know? Well, anyway, he got out, they let him out. But he flew to see me, and the poor guy he was so demonically influenced and so round the bend. But I did a healing on him as at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:03 in the morning. It's a strong time for me, 3 a.m. in the morning then. And within about 2 or 3 days, he was kind of more or less normal. And then he stayed with me for a month and hung out in the gardens and worked with the gardens